Warm welcome to this class. My name is Ria. I'm the host of this channel. Sometimes people ask me, okay, how do you teach yoga in a regular fitness club or gym? Because I know you're a Christian instructor, so what's going on there? And I teach fitness or yoga just as I do Christian yoga or cross yoga, but more with a theme that I call existential, or more with a general theme that's not pointing towards a religious God or religious faith, but more like gratitude or strength or rest or something like that. And I would like to offer you a class just if you want to try this out and you say, well, I'm not that much into Christianity, but I like to try Ria as a yoga instructor. Take this class. It'll be a slow class, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So welcome on the mat. Find a comfortable seated position and let's get started. So close your eyes, maybe leaving your hands on your thighs. Lengthen through your spine. And take a moment to settle on your mat. Maybe take a huge inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And if there's anything on your mind, anything that doesn't serve you, exhale it. Leave it just on a shell beside the mat, so you don't have to focus on it right now. Instead, breathe in and out through your nose if you can. Maybe you feel the difference between your inhale and your exhale in your nostrils. The air might feel a little bit cooler on your inhale than on your exhale. Lengthen your breath, deepen your breath. If you would like an intention or a focus during this class, welcome to find one. Or I'll guide you through the theme of peace. So try to inhale peace. And maybe exhale everything opposite of peace. Gently open your eyes. Gather your palms here, fold your fingers and wrap your palms towards me. Round your back, chin towards your chest. And then lift your palms towards the sky. Lengthen your spine, maybe looking up. And let's do this, warming up with the pace of our breath. You take a huge exhale as you lean forward, take your hands to the front. Inhale as you lift your arms up. And then continue for a few more moments. Small micro bend in your elbows. And you're welcome to use your Ujjayi breath if you like. That's the snoring sound on your exhale. Last time, lift up. And then release your hands down to the mat. Lean towards your right side and take your left hand above your head. And really lift up, lengthen through each ribs here on the side. Take a huge inhale as you wave your hands above your head to the other side. A few more times of this. Inhale as you move to the other side. Exhale as you find your stretch. Inhale, lift up. And exhale to the side. Having peace in our yoga practice also means that you don't think that you have to do your yoga the right way, or you have to gain a certain amount of strength or stretching in each pose. Have peace with yourself and with your yoga practice on the mat. All right, so when you feel you have taken an even amount of stretches on each side, find your downward facing dog. Spread out your fingers. I like my pinky fingers at the end of the mat. Really get that outer edge of your finger, your knuckles in the mat here, moving your feet back. And then bent one knee, bent the other knee, getting into your hamstrings, opening up your hip. Try to make a small micro bend in your elbows. Almost like you're pulling your hands away from each other, making some space in your collarbone, between your ears and arms. And before we slow down the tempo, we just need to warm up a little bit more. So step your feet to the front end of your mat. Hip width apart, so don't gather your feet completely. Micro bend your knees and come into a forward fold. Maybe swaying from side to side, whatever feels good. If you have blocks and you want to have the floor closer to you, you can always use your blocks in whatever pose you need them to. All right, bend your knees. Much of your weight on your heels. Go as low as you feel like today. Arms stretching forward, thumbs moving up. Breathe. And then take a huge inhale, stand up. Open up your chest, lean a little bit back, not too much. Again, straighten your spine, navel in, hands towards the sky, sink into a chair. And that's it. I'm going to do that a few more times. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, as you open up your chest to peace maybe. Inhale, take your hands above your head, straighten your spine. And exhale, down in your chair. And maybe you do this faster or slower than me. Inhale up. And exhale back. Inhale, straighten your spine. And exhale, sink low. A few more times. Close your eyes maybe. Gentle movements. Make peace with your spine, with your legs as we move through these little small flow sequence. All right, next time you're standing up, take your hands down by your side, mountain pose. We're going to slow down. Spread out your toes. Maybe you'll look down on your feet. I hope your feet are taking you somewhere peaceful. Put your weight on your right leg and slowly lift up your left leg. Bend your knee, 90-degree angle. Take your left hand on your kneecap, maybe right arm out to the side. Breathe, steady gaze somewhere in front of you. And you feel like this is not completely enough, you're welcome to stretch out that front leg. Look to your right side, so gaze out to that hand, out to the side, and this will challenge your balance a little bit more. So only do it if you feel like it's in your practice today and it feels okay. And then look forward again, maybe feeling tired in your glutes and your hamstrings. Let that right leg, move it back to the back end of your mat, toes on the ground. Crescent Lunge, so lower down, knee and ankle above each other in the front foot, and lift your hands towards the sky. Again, shoulders down, and maybe you want to tuck your pelvis here a little bit underneath yourself, and maybe you need to bend that back knee to make that happen. It's perfectly fine. Steady breath. And notice what you feel in this pose. Palms together. And really push your palms towards each other. Again, lengthen through your shoulders. And press your palms together with almost all your strength for 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Frame the foot and lower down your left knee. Maybe you want to fold your mat. I would like to do that. As always, knee and ankle stacked above each other. Low lunge, take your hands up. And then move your hip towards the front here. Opening up our hip flexors, our hamstrings. If you would like to go for a back bend, a little bit deeper, palms together, maybe pointy fingers stretch up, lean back, opening up your heart. And notice something maybe in the lower back. Shouldn't feel uneasy there. It's not about looking good. Amazing. Take your hands down on the mat and step your right foot back. All the way back, aligned with the knee. And move your left knee a little bit, or foot, leg out to the side, finding a side plank on your knees, supported side plank. Maybe looking up, again, shoulders away from ears. Using your hips to move a little bit up into the front so your hip is aligned with your knee. I just recently found this and I love it. Now take your hands here down towards the mat, pinky finger down, and lift your pinky finger up and above your head so that your bicep is almost towards your ear, and lift your hip. Feel this, probably this nice stretch on your side. One last breath. And release. Come down on your mat, either on all fours if that's more relaxing for you, or find downward facing dog and walk your dog. Take a Vinyasa flow if you like. And then try to stand still in your down dog, lowering your heels, maybe bending your knees. Lift your tailbone a little bit higher away from your fingers. Knuckles really tight to the mat. Engage your arms without lifting your shoulders towards your ears. Navel towards your glutes or your thighs without moving your feet and your hands. Ears and arms aligned. One last breath. slowly bend your knees, look towards your hands and walk your feet to the front end of your mat. Sink forwards, small bend in your knee and sway from side to side. Now, where do you find peace in your everyday life? What gives you peace? And don't be frustrated if you just can't figure it out, if you don't know. Maybe it's your time to figure that out. Bend your knees and come into your mountain pose. Taking your time, shoulders back. Find your breath. Feel your feet on the mat. Getting ready to your small balance pose. Weight on your left leg, your left foot, all corners of the foot. Lift your right leg up. Right hand on your knee. And then your left arm out to the side. Breathe slowly, deeply. And try not to focus too much on, can I keep my balance? Can I keep my balance? Try to focus on your breath. Focus on wherever your gaze is, somewhere in front of you. Remember, an opportunity to stretch out that front leg if you want to. And also invite you to look out to your left hand if you feel like that today, to play a little bit around with your balance. Beautiful. Look to the front end again. See if you can keep your balance as we release our hand from the right leg and move it right leg back. Our Crescent Lunge. Shorten the distance in between your feet if you want to go a little bit easy on yourself today. And then sink low, as low as you want to, lifting up the back heel. Now, if you feel like you're hurting yourselves here on the, I would say the knuckles of the feet, I don't know if that's a word, you don't have to lift exactly 90 degrees because that actually hurts me. So you can bend a little bit more just to get the weight contribute somewhere else. Try to see if you can make your inner thighs almost glued together without moving your legs. And take your palms together as we did before. Here in front of your chest, don't lift them too high. And push your palms together like a forced prayer pose. Gauge your arms, shoulders. Keep breathing. Beautiful. And relax. We're going to move into low lunge. So frame your foot and take your time getting your right knee on the mat. Again, hip width distance is a good idea here. And lift your arms up your head. You can stay here, but as we want to move into a stretch on our hip flexors, we want to move our hip a little bit further to the front end of your mat. Still keeping the knee and the ankle above each other. Option of folding or grasping your hands and lift your chest in the sense of leaning back. Breathing and noticing maybe the shaky feelings, trying to keep a balance involved with stretches. Beautiful. And let go. Slowly move yourself back. Take that front foot, your left leg, and move it to your supported side plank. Right leg behind. So knee, foot, and hand aligned. Lift up your left hand. moving your hip as high as you can, looking up or down, pushing through that outer edge of the back foot, and try to avoid hyperextending the back knee. Wave your hand down towards the mat, and then pinky fingers up towards the sky, and really stretch the whole side body. One last big breath. And come down. Child's pose. I would always suggest a little bit space in between your knees. Lower down your hip towards your heels, forehead on the ground, either hands to the front end of your mat or back down by your legs. And maybe you want to put your palms, if your hands are in front of you, up, and surrender whatever takes your peace. Let it go, almost like we did in the beginning. Surrender. Let go of whatever takes your peace. Take your hands further down underneath your shoulders and come up on all fours. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, move your spine towards the sky. Your cat pose. Navel in and make yourself as short as possible between your neck and between your glutes or your lower back. And release. Sit down on your mat. I'm gonna get a little bit into our abs. Boat pose, really traditional yoga pose, at least modern yoga pose. Now you can move back just a little bit. If you have injuries in your lower back, you might want to sit a little bit taller or lay all the way down on your mat and just move your feet gently up and down. If you don't have injuries or anything, lean back, maybe holding here on your thighs. If there's no problem, again, lengthen through your shoulders, lift up your legs from the ground, and maybe your palms just outside your knees. We want to just keep breathing and really engage the core, navel in, tightened abs. Two more huge breaths. And sit down. And maybe lengthen your legs out to the side or to the front, rather. Your glutes here, your sitting bones on the mat, with your chest leading forward, lean forward. Maybe you feel something in your hamstrings, maybe you notice it in your lower back, whatever it is. Stay with it, breathe into it, around it. And I want to set you free to do plow pose instead if you have that practice, that pose in your practice. And if you notice competition with yourself, I want to move further down. I want to get the deep, deep stretch. Try to let go of that and just ask yourself why you need to compete. What is it? If you're in plow pose, please release and stay down on your mat just for a few moments. If you're seated here, come into a seated pose. And then everyone gathers into a seated pose. Butterfly, I call this. Sole of the feet together. You can take your feet further out if this is enough, or draw your heels closer towards your glutes. You should relax your legs as much as possible. Now I'm taking a hold of my feet, and some people really love opening up their feet because that helps you move your legs out. Doesn't do anything specifically for me, but I like to take a hold of my feet, lean forward. And if you feel like it today, going a little bit deeper, you can always take your hands underneath your ankles. And then take a hold of your feet on the outer edge, like this. Again, try not to round your back too much. Move your shoulder blades back. Breathe and relax. And maybe you have found a little bit more peace during our practice as your body is stretching and slowing down, not moving as fast as you might be used to. Finding your way out of your pose. Come down on your mat, on your spine. Let's lengthen our spine with our happy baby. So bend your knees 90 degrees. Feet point towards the sky as flexed feet. And then take your legs out to the side. Hands, or elbows rather, on the inside of your knee. And take a hold of your feet on the outer edge of your feet if you can. If you can't, just take a hold of your wrists or your shin. Pull your feet down as far as you can. And with your arms, move your legs out. Try to lengthen your spine so you don't lift your hips up off the mat. So I'd like to think of a heavy lower back. So put a little bit of effort in moving my lower back down to the ground. If it doesn't feel good, just hug your knees instead. Beautiful. Release your feet. Put both feet on the ground, not too close to your hip, I would suggest. Hands on the ground, and sway your legs from side to side, our windshield. And if it feels really good just to stay out on one side, you can do that. And I actually invite you to do it. I'm going to stay just have my legs on one side and try to relax, and maybe your lower back will adjust with a little bit of a click. And maybe that's just what you need today. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. And slowly move your legs to the other side. And just let gravity do its work here. Your knees doesn't have to reach the floor. Come back to the middle, hug your knees. Once we move into Shavasana, resting pose, maybe you welcome peace into your heart. And if you feel like you don't deserve peace, maybe you have done something and you feel like, I don't deserve it, or maybe you're just giving up and finding more peace. I believe there's more peace to be found. So in your resting pose, let go of your legs and spread out your feet to each side, hands on the ground. Close your eyes and maybe recall a place in your life, maybe when you were a kid or maybe not, where you really felt at peace. Recall where you were, who you were together with or not together with. Think of the sounds, maybe the smells at that particular time. And open your heart towards peace. Maybe re-experience it again on the mat here. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to prove yourself to find peace. You are more than welcome to stay on your mat for way longer time. But if you're ready, start wriggling with toes and feet and wrists and elbows and small joints. Maybe stretching yourself, take your hands above your head. Give yourself a huge stretch. Open your eyes ever so gently. And maybe, just maybe, you are a little bit more at peace, or you have been focusing a little bit more on what peace means to you. If you're ready, you can come into a seated pose. And I hope you continue your journey towards peace in your heart. From my heart to your hearts, thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for likes and subscriptions and all that. That is so helpful for me and whatever I do here. Have a great day.